So, how does it feel when you play Roll Up to Win with Tim Hortons? Buy a hot or cold beverage using the Tim's app and find out. Roll in the app for a chance to win prizes ranging from free coffee and donuts to a Universal Orlando resort vacation or a sweet car. Oh, don't forget the TV. And this year, every roll is a shot at a $1,000 daily giveaway drawing for two $500 prizes. Roll up to win and get treated by Tim's. No purchase necessary. Account registration required. 50 U.S. and D.C. 18 plus entered by 4/2/23. See rules at rolluptowin.com for free entry and full details. Void in Florida and where prohibited.
Surgeons keep our hearts beating. They do the amazing. Help save lives. And so can you. Your CSL plasma donation can help create 24 critical life-saving medicines that can give Grandpa the chance for his heart to swell when he meets his new grandson, or give a bride the chance for her heart to skip a beat on her wedding day. Every plasma donation helps more than you know. Do the amazing. Help save lives. Donate today at your local CSL Plasma Center and be rewarded for your generosity.
Celtics Sixers is going to a game 7. Congrats to Joe Mazzulla. I mean, Boston is chomping at the bit to send this guy up the road. And it's his first year. He's a rookie head coach. He'll get better. My assumption is that Joe Mazzulla will get better at coaching in the NBA if given the opportunity. It's just, I think they're going to, I shouldn't say if they're going to win game 7 or not. Anything going on with WVU basketball? My gosh. Have you been, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to talk about this in a way that's not redundant on everything that you've read on the internet, opinion pieces, comments. Listen, I gave up, that I gave up the Facebook, and I can only imagine the wormhole you could go down this week with. It would be amazing. So Monday morning was a normal May WVU basketball news day. On the radar, like transfer portal is closing up this week. The WVU volleyball coach's son is going to plan a visit. Like normal basketball stuff. Nobody has left outside of Jimmy Bell going to Mississippi State. So glad we're not going to see Jimmy Bell in the Big 12. I am rooting for Jimmy Bell to succeed at Mississippi State. And so best of luck to Jimmy in his future endeavors. But that wasn't Monday. Didn't know that Monday. But Monday morning, and as I'm recording this on Thursday night, knock on wood, I think it's looking like everybody's sticking around. All the guys that are possibly going to go. And as soon as I say that, the news may come down as I'm recording this, that somebody else is leaving. But as of right now, and as of Monday morning, no departures. So that's interesting. And then tangentially, the West Virginia University coaching caravan was getting started in Wheeling on Monday evening. So when I think caravans, I think of the Reds caravan, and somebody from the Reds and Marty Brenneman shows up at the Charleston Town Center, and they sign things, and they're like, hey, we're tied for first place in baseball because we're the Reds and we haven't played any games yet. That's what I think of as a caravan. And I've never been to the Reds caravan, but that's what I think about caravan. Great idea. And so WVU coaches caravan. Nothing probably was going to come of that other than, caravan stuff. Some shaking hands, some, hey, how's it going? We're all 0-0, right? That was Monday morning, thinking about how caravans are fun. And actually, the Grand Caravan was a nice van. Like, that's a fun van. It had grand in it. But there was a caravan. There was a caravan and there was a grand caravan. I think they look the same. I don't know what made the Grand Caravan grand. Like, I know what makes the Grand Canyon grand. I'm not bragging, I've been to multiple canyons. I would say, for example, Glen Canyon is not as grand as the Grand Canyon. Both are canyons, right? Caravan and Grand Caravan, both minivans, I would not. They deemed it grand. That's an opinion, I think. I would deem the Grand Caravan not worthy of the grand title because I couldn't tell the difference. Anyways, great van. I'm stalling. So that was Monday morning, okay? And even for a little bit in the afternoon, normal May WVU basketball news day, which is not much, right? Then a tweet. I don't do the Facebook, thank goodness, off the Instagram. I'm on the Twitter, and a tweet starts circulating a little bit after 2 p.m. from a gentleman named Steve Norris. Is he related to Chuck? That's the first thing I think of with any Norris. Hal Norris was in the Reds caravan. Famous Cincinnati Red Hal Norris. Not related to Chuck Norris. And his name might have been Hal Morris. His Twitter profile says that he's a meteorologist out of Cincinnati. Okay. Why is this tweet circulating? Well, it had to do with WVU basketball, and it was referring to WVU head coach Bob Huggins. And the tweet started with the siren, the red flashing siren emoji. Like, siren's a sound, but maybe what is that thing called? When you see that at the beginning of a tweet and then capital letters, it's probably not a good thing. I don't know. And this was actually not a good thing. Bob Huggins, according to this tweet, had referred to Xavier University on a Cincinnati radio station. This is not what the tweet said. I'm paraphrasing what the tweet said. It did have the red alert emoji, okay? Bob Huggins had referred to Xavier on a Cincinnati radio station and he used 2 words. And I'm not saying either one of them because you know what he said. You may not have heard the audio. You may have skipped that. I heard it. I wanted to skip it after I heard it, but I heard it. And he used 2 words, both that I know. One of those words, I think the word by itself, in my opinion, is not like a problem to say. Like, I could say that word right now and not have fear of any that I am talking from a bad place, or I could say it and be like, I didn't say anything wrong there, right? Okay, so that's one of the words. The other word is not that, okay? Would not, yeah. It's another word, and it's a derogatory slur. So that's the other word. And Coach Bob Huggins said that on a live radio station, because radio is live. I guess you could tape stuff and play it on the radio. I mean, songs that are on the radio, the people aren't actually singing and playing the instruments, but it is going over the air live. Anyway, that number one, he said that, and I have never worked in a radio station. My understanding is that somebody is this is my understanding of it. I do a podcast in my laundry room with my 2 cats. At a radio station, there's glass, people talking in microphones on one side of the glass, with like soundproofing and stuff. And then on the other side of the glass, there's somebody with a gigantic board, electronic board with lots of knobs and stuff. And there's a button where you can just shut it down. You can shut down what's going over the radio. And you have that, I would assume, and I would guess every radio station has that. And you would press the button when you hear something that shouldn't be said on the radio. And nobody hit that button. And it doesn't change anything that I'm going to say next. It's just something that's weird. Because I would argue, if I heard that as a person at the button, that I could press the button and nobody hear it, I would press the button. That's what I would do. At WLW in Cincinnati, they were good with it. And so that's the tweet. And so besides thinking that Steve Norris, the first thing I think of is related to Chuck Norris, I don't know him from Adam. And there's no blue check marks on Twitter, kind of was a thing, and now it's a different thing. Who is Steve Norris? Why did he mistake? Did Steve Norris make this up? Steve Norris? Did he hear it and maybe misheard it? And at the time that the tweet is circulating, there's no audio available. But in the comments below that tweet, people are like, are you sure? Versions of are you sure? And other things too. And Steve very confident that what he heard was what he heard. And Steve Norris he was absolutely correct on what he heard. Okay? But at 1:30, up for debate. People, especially, I'm a biased person as far as wanting that to not be true. I don't think it's true until I hear it.
So, how does it feel when you play Roll Up to Win with Tim Hortons? Buy a hot or cold beverage using the Tim's app and find out. Roll in the app for a chance to win prizes ranging from free coffee and donuts to a Universal Orlando resort vacation or a sweet car. Oh, don't forget the TV. And this year, every roll is a shot at a $1,000 daily giveaway drawing for two $500 prizes. Roll up to win and get treated by Tim's. No purchase necessary. Account registration required. 50 U.S. and D.C. 18 plus entered by 4/2/23. See rules at rolluptowin.com for free entry and full details. Void in Florida and where prohibited.
Surgeons keep our hearts beating. They do the amazing, help save lives, and so can you. Your CSL plasma donation can help create 24 critical life-saving medicines that can give Grandpa the chance for his heart to swell when he meets his new grandson, or give a bride the chance for her heart to skip a beat on her wedding day. Every plasma donation helps more than you know. Do the amazing. Help save lives. Donate today at your local CSL Plasma Center and be rewarded for your generosity.
Do you like aliens, UFOs, cryptids, and the supernatural?
What about self-defecating humor?
Actually, it's self-deprecating humor.
Well, you may both be right. Alien Theorist Theorizing is a comedy podcast that examines cases like
Roswell, Bigfoot, or the Atacama alien.
If any of these topics pique your interest,
subscribe to Alien Theorist Theorizing free anywhere you find podcasts or go to alientheorists.com.
Cut to 4:30 p.m. Awful Announcing. That's a group that covers sports media and sports things. Their name is Awful Announcing. They tweet the audio. And Steve Norris, again, right on the money with what he heard. And Bob Huggins says those two words together. What you hear from the audio is Coach Bob Huggins very comfortable in what he's saying. Maybe he's trying to be funny. One man's opinion, not funny. The guys on the radio thought it was hilarious. And one of the hosts said after Coach Huggins said those things, he said, "Isn't he the best?" I'm an older person. Young people use the term cringe or ick, and I felt all of that listening to that audio. It was not it was not good. And so Steve Norris, absolutely correct. An hour later, Bob Huggins tweets an apology. The apology reads as a apology, not like the apology of like trying to give context of where it made, like there was no deflecting in the apology, owned it, apologized, said whatever comes as far as punishment, whatever it is, he's got to take it. Like it just basically just as far as written apologies go, just a straight up, that's on me, terrible. I said something terrible. Whatever happens as far as punishment, I deserve it. That was the apology. And then a few minutes later, the athletic department, without a name on it, issues a statement. They take Bob Huggins' actions very seriously. The situation is under review. And that was the rest of Monday. So Monday morning was one feeling, right? Kind of a boring, no big deal, no news, to the afternoon and evening, the opposite of that. And I got to tell you how I felt for the rest of the evening. I was bummed out. It was a bummer. And the internet starts processing that. Of course, politics gets involved because everything is political. Even me talking about the Grand Caravan versus the Caravan, I'm sure there's a political lean on that. No real news Tuesday, but now national writers are chiming in. And from what I read, the majority of the national, let's call them columnists, that columnist is like a newspaper term, but people write things saying, Huggins should be fired for that. And how does Bob Huggins survive what he did as far as keeping his employment? On WVU Sports Twitter, what I read most was a version of he apologized, we're good here, let's move on. And then news starts leaking out Wednesday morning, and the details start trickling in. First thing that trickles in is that Huggins isn't going to be fired, that he's going to be suspended for a number of games, and that his contract is getting updated. And I think later in the morning, there's talk of sensitivity training. And then from there, President Gordon Gee, Athletic Director Ren Baker come out with the details on how the university is going to proceed with what Bob Huggins did. And here's what that said. I'm not reading that. I'm just going to sum up what I read, is that Bob Huggins is going to do the sensitivity training, which is its own kind of visual, Bob Huggins in sensitivity training. And this is a requirement for him to stay employed, is to meet with LGBTQ plus leaders and groups across West Virginia and organizations associated with WVU. I don't know if I'm saying this stuff right. I'm an idiot, but I'm telling you what I read from it. Annual training, and he needs to talk with the folks who were most hurt by the words that Bob Huggins said. that especially that one specific word. In regards to the contract change, $1 million reduction in salary, with that money going to these groups that he's going to talk to. Outside of that, because his words were aimed at Xavier University. Of course, Huggins on record, he was the coach at University of Cincinnati. As you probably know, Cincinnati Xavier crosstown rivalry. Not big on heaping praise on the folks at Xavier University. This was way different. And so outside of the $1 million reduction of money going to these groups that he's going to talk to and national groups, a substantial donation to Xavier University. Bob Huggins did get a 3-game suspension that will go into effect the first 3 games of the 2023-2024 season. And back to the contract, instead of like a multi-year, revisited every couple of years path to retiring and then going to the front office in like a working within the athletic department as a I don't know what those words are, but like instead of all right, I don't want to coach anymore, but you can still pay me and I'll do other stuff for the athletic department. That goes away. And his contract is now a 1-year contract that ends in April 2024 with a chance to renew at that time. And the final thing is zero tolerance policy for any similar incidents like the one he did on live radio. And so that's what happened. Gosh, I do not feel equipped talking about this, but I can't not talk about it, right? This is something I don't anticipate after this podcast to talk a ton more about it, but you never know. Like I said, I'm still pretty bummed out about it. You can't control what a person thinks or what they say in private, but your employer can control what you say in public, so much so that language is built into contracts of like, this is you cannot say things that put your employer in a bad light. And so as far as was the punishment the right punishment? I was ready for anything. And Bob Huggins should have been ready for anything, including being asked to not work at the university anymore. Like that. And he said in his apology, whatever comes my way, then I have to accept that. And he doesn't really have a choice there. But I'm not going to say he got off light. I'm not going to say it was overdone. But it'd have been the only weird scenario for me is if he would have done the apology and then it would have been like, all right, all good. Apology accepted. Let's move on. I'd have been shocked by that. And then I wouldn't have been shocked by anything else. And it's just a bummer. And hopefully with all kind of things where people are hurt and people apologize for things that they've done, hopefully it leads to good, and that it leads to positive things. And what I can say about the punishment is that is kind of baked into the punishment is the opportunity for some good could come out of this. But it's rough and it's a bummer. And I can't believe I'm I don't know. I think that's all I want to say about it. And so that's it.